Warning, this podcast may contain spoilers as well as coarse language, so you've been warned. Enjoy!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Our Anime Podcast. Today we're talking about my favorite anime, Oregairu. Yeah!
Is that actually how you pronounce it?
No, it's Oregairu.
You just lost half our audience, thank you. They just left after that one line. Thank you.
Well, I mean, I'm not wrong. It's kind of gay, to be honest.
God.
Well, that's like your opinion.
Ooh, what does that even mean? What the fuck?
Damn. Okay, so, the crew for the podcast, we got Bacon.
What's up? Welcome to Anime Summit. Oh, oops, wrong.
You can't say that.
Oh, shit!
Dude.
Shh.
Oh.
No, don't worry, keep going. Keep going.
Okay. We also got Kavrik.
Hey, I woke up at 6 a.m. to talk about Chinese cartoons.
Oh, dedication, man.
You the real MVP, man.
Yep.
Yeah, he is. And we also got Becker.
It starts with one thing. I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind.
Stop.
Shit. What?
Stop, we're gonna hit by a copyright.
Is that 8-Man's theme? Is that what you're singing?
Are you crawling in your skin?
Dude, I feel so numb right now, man.
Oh, it might be, honestly. And then finally there's me. Man, people don't even know who I am. They just call me Randy
Who the
now.
fuck are you?
Who are you? Who the fuck is this guy?
Oh, well. Anyways, let's start talking about Oregairu. It's, again, my
Terrible.
favorite series.
Oh. I'm just kidding.
Bacon
Go
why.
on.
Okay, so it's basically the story of someone who's very edgy becoming less edgy, along with another person who's sort of like an ice queen that we get to see defrost, and a Genki girl who's a nice girl.
Oh, he had to say it. He had to say it.
Yep.
Nice girls.
It's true.
I guess we're done.
Anyways, yeah, go ahead.
No.
Okay.
I'm saying I guess we're done after this explanation. There's nothing to talk about anymore.
Oh yeah, that's the anime. There you go.
We actually forgot about like the female tennis player. You know, we forgot about other girls that are even better than the main girls. Like
It's
that one girl, like
that-
Ice Queen's sister. You know,
That tennis player's a guy.
why are you assuming Saika's gender?
Did you just assume his gender, dude?
He says he's a guy.
I'm gonna go call up the SJWs on Tumblr, and they're just.
You're a shitlord. But anyway, let's keep going.
Ouch.
Okay, so Oregairu on the sub has an interesting reputation, mostly from when the second season aired and everyone saw the essays, as they called them. And it sort of had this negative following as a result, where people got pissed off that the discussion thread was not filled with one-liners or pictures or short GIFs, and instead
that's
filled with
all I go.
analysis.
That's the main reason why I go to those discussions. I just want to see like all the funny pictures and reactions. I don't want essays. Get that out of here.
Yeah, shockingly enough, the series decided to actually be something more, and people want to actually do something more for it, and then they got shit on for it.
You're saying I have to think harder about my anime? What?
Yeah, that's crazy. How
That
dare you?
sounds fucking stupid.
But I don't know, I feel it's a legitimate problem, because there was even a thread I saw a while back where people were getting annoyed at the rewatch for it too, which I'm hosting, by the way.
Really?
Yeah,
so it was
'cause they
you.
were-
Whoa.
It was you, Dio. How dare you?
But people were getting annoyed that they had all these long comments doing analysis, and they didn't want to read that. They wanted to join a rewatch, as if it was airing for the first time, and being able to see all these one-liners and fun discussions, which made me sad, because it really is representative of this small, well, not small, but this silent vocal majority, apparently, that doesn't really care to participate much in the sub in comments, but they're willing to go into discussion threads or rewatch threads and upvote people if they manage to make them laugh, or if they manage to say something interesting quickly, and just then leave, which kind of makes me sad, honestly.
Well, like, okay,
Yo, those internet points are pretty great. Oh, sorry, Bacon.
oh, you're fine. Were those essays that were posted, were they mostly negative? Or, like, what were they?
No,
like,
they were just
they were
analysis,
right?
It was just analysis.
So just
like,
analysis.
I was one of those people who did those, actually. And I didn't even do it like analysis. I like, posted screenshots and said my own thoughts on, like, certain scenes. And then I did, like, a mini analysis on some scene I thought was important. But I always tried to keep it like more lighthearted, and I had tried to use like jokes or like funny comics that I thought were relevant. But I still got downvoted like crazy because, you know, long comment. Ooh, it's an essay. Ah.
Ooh, a wall of text. Can't have that. even though Reddit is a literal forum site, we can't have long discussion about things.
No TLDR? How dare you?
Dude, no memes? No way.
Yeah.
No game, no life.
Just don't stop.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, it's pretty depressing because as a result of these essays, the series itself has a bit of a negative following attached to it. I don't even see it mentioned that much anymore on the sub, even though it's a fairly like it was considered a fairly popular anime when it was airing. It's got a couple 100,000 members on Mao. Sorry to interrupt, but yeah, the discussion for it is non-existent. Like, if you have a thread where people say, what's your favorite, like, X or something, you'll see Oregairu near the bottom with, like, 2 or 3 upvotes, and then you'll see, like, Monogatari series at the top with, like, 5,000 upvotes plus gold.
You will see it with a dagger. Like, when I was preparing for the podcast, I was searching for my comments about Oregairu on Reddit by searching them by controversial, and it was a success because defending second season net me a lot of daggers and controversial opinions.
Yeah, that's another thing. The shift to the second season was really what made people get, like, I don't know why, they got really angry with it. Like, the art style changed. They were like, oh, I preferred the first season art style.
Really? What the?
Yeah, no, people did.
Okay, the first season looks like total ass. Like, total fucking ass.
I agree with
Not
that.
even the good kind of ass either. It's like heads are turning like clock hands, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, but
all the money went into being edgy, you know? All the money went into, like, the characters, the dialogue, the voice acting.
Went to the voice actors.
Yeah.
The art style change happened and people got annoyed. They said that they preferred the first season art style. And I got surprised at that because I thought the second season looked 100 times better.
Yeah.
I know, they had the blush around the eyes, the knees, and the skin looked really nice. I don't know.
They got the synergy hands going.
Oh man,
God.
those
Synergy hand
hands.
animation.
I hate
Sakuga, right?
Yo, I hate that guy. Let's move on, please. I just hate that guy so much.
Yo man, you're not
God.
brainstorming logically, and you know.
We need to use logical thinking when thinking logically.
Yeah. And then when I have a rebuttal, like, I have this idea. I was like, whoa, don't jump the gun on all these ideas. We need to brainstorm all these ideas. Like, bro, you got 1 week left to plan this thing. You're out of time. Well, I feel that you feel nothing.
Yeah, and one other thing that the jump to the second season caused for in terms of controversy was the change in tone, because season 2 is definitely less lighthearted. It's a more serious work. Yeah. And coming from the first season, people feel, I guess, betrayed by that. They really liked the slice of life moments, as they called them, in season 1, and was hoping for more of the same in season 2. And then when season 2 decided to say, hey, I'm actually gonna make, a story out of this, they got pissed off.
So when you say he was gonna make a story out of it, it almost sounds like he wasn't really planning on
that's
really going somewhere from the beginning.
Personally, what I think happened was that he wrote... Okay, because I've heard this rumor that basically he wrote this as a response to Haganai, because he saw that and he was like, this person doesn't know how to write a light novel. This premise is completely stupid. Let me show you how to make a light novel. And he wrote one. And he included so many generic tropes at the beginning. He included a trap. He included a chuni. He put generic Genki girl, generic ice queen. I was like, yeah, let's do this. And then he decided, in that start, he was gonna make it a little bit better, which he did, right? And then all of a sudden, the light novel became successful, and he was like, holy shit, what's happening? People actually like this? Oh, maybe now that I'm not writing a light novel with the grammar of a kindergarten student. People actually like appreciate it, so they decided to buy it because it's actually ranked highly in this light novel polling thing. It managed to unseat Index light novels, which was a big deal when Index was at its prime. So that was actually huge.
So you're saying that Oregairu is actually a deconstruction, and Watari is actually an Hideki Anno?
No, let's not go that far. Anyways, I think around the end of the first season, it definitely starts to shift. Like, episodes 10, 11, and 12 of the first season are probably the longest arc we have. And it does get a lot more serious in that area, but still kind of being a little bit more lighthearted. And I think that people don't recognize this because then episode 13 comes along and it's all of a sudden like lighthearted shenanigans and stuff, even though that was written as an anime original episode.
Yeah.
Wait, for season 2?
For season 1.
Oh, season 1.
Yeah. The sports festival was anime original when it first aired, and then was included later as a light novel thing in the BDs, and then it got compiled into volume 6.5. But yeah, this change in tone happened, and people were not happy with it. It was, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you, and that it is kind of interesting because it was rather lighthearted at the first time, and actually, as you have said, it is a point of the series where in the first season all the characters have their facades and pretend and they even tricked into it the viewers itself. And when the masks were shattered in the second season, people were not prepared to see their true faces. So yeah, I guess that's what happened.
Yeah. It kind of makes me sad.
Well,
but,
I wish more. What if like more series did that? You know, like you have a slice of life series, then boom, second half you really start to dig deep into these characters that are so-called living their lives. You know what I mean? Like what's really driving them? What's really making them to who they are? I would love to see that with more other slice of life series I've seen, but I feel like a lot of these characters I've seen, like there won't be much depth to them because
no, it has to be planned from the beginning, though.
Yeah.
That's what.
That's the Lucky Star. Like I have no idea what's going on in those girls' heads. What influenced it? We don't know. All they do is talk about food. Let's dig deeper into it. Oh, we can. Okay, it's because there's nothing else there.
Any other like controversies about Oregairu you want to mention that you've seen on the sub or anything?
It's just people complain.
I think it's interesting. Oh, you go, Bacon. Sorry.
Grazie. It's just people always arguing about whether Hachiman's a good or bad character to them. I feel like a lot of people are really angry at him, and to those people I say, you're just mad because that guy's exactly like you. You know what I mean? I've met people in my life who are almost just like me, and I either one, hate him or two, love him. So I think that's how a lot of people are when it comes to this series. Like, this guy hits home with me so hard, that's exactly what I'm thinking. And the other side, it's like, who does this guy think he is thinking like that, when in reality, boom, you're that guy, you know? But maybe that's a little too simple to mention it like that, or at least that's what I see.
I actually get that. Interesting point. I remember seeing a poll like saying which gender, like the genders preferred which animes from the spring season or something, and what was surprising is like Oregairu was really popular with the males, but non-existent for females.
That doesn't surprise me.
It's probably because of that like 8-man. Like, he is so much someone that like lonely or edgy guys from middle school and high school can relate to, and then like the females, nope. And then because of that inability to relate, I think they lose a lot of that understanding that comes with his character.
Ew, that's the guy I kept my distance away from in middle school. Ew.
Yeah, gross. When they see that and then they stop thinking about like anything beyond that, it makes it probably seem very shallow, which probably turns them off from it. But yeah, Becker, you had something you wanted to mention?
Oh, I was gonna say, the show is considered too deep for you, like joke, like in a meme sense, I guess. And to go back to that, like, I think the like the essay writing, like the you know, character, like it being a character drama, you have to like pay attention to like character motivations, character actions, subtle shit, you know. Some people just don't want to do that, and then they'll just label it like, oh, it's just too deep for me and shit like that or something.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
that's true. I mean,
Like I need an essay to explain how great this anime is, or like, oh, I need to look up more. Kind of like with me and NGE, I had to look up other people's perspectives in order to really fully understand this series as a whole.
Kavik, you had something to say?
yeah, I just want to say that, especially the second season of Oregairu is one of the most complex anime in high school setting. So yeah, people expected just another high school anime with memes and stuff, and then they got a real character drama. So yeah, it was kind of unexpected in this sense.
What's funny is that there was a lot of like really serious shit in season 2 that just kind of became memes, like genuine
Synergy.
Iroha in general is kind of a meme.
Synergy.
The like I talked about the synergy guy is definitely a meme.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well,
I also kind of dislike how you can't mention Hachiman and not come across an edgy man at the sub at these times.
yeah, that's a good point. Like I want to say that I was able to relate to him in the past, and that's why I think it helped me a lot in like grounding his character and giving me a good viewpoint to understand it from. But to say that makes me seem like a weirdo, at which point people would downvote me. I remember one time I actually like said Oregairu was my favorite anime. I could relate to 8-Man at the begin, like at a time in my life, and I found that relatable, and it helped me to see the perspective and everything. And I got downvoted because like some guy called me an edgelord, and I was like, oh,
What
okay.
kind of person were you as when you were
I'm not
younger?
commenting.
Were you kind of edgy?
I'm not commenting. That's a
Go
dark
on.
past.
I mean,
that's
like, I feel
behind
like
me.
I think that's worth talking about. Like, it's this kind of show.
This-
If you relate to one of these characters, chances are you were kind of like them at one point.
We'll get to that later. We'll
Yeah.
actually, if there's nothing else you guys want to talk about in terms of like overall things about the series, anyone?
Probably the last thing is like, I honestly, for myself, really enjoyed the series because it was something that really stood out in this whole genre of what genre is this?
Rom-com.
You mentioned slice of life. I was like, wait, it's not slice. It's a rom-com. It's in the name, kind of. But that's the thing. It didn't feel like a romantic comedy, obviously in the second season, but even in the first season with this character, because number one, he wasn't dense at all. Like, he was actually, doing monologues. He was actually talking and saying things that actually made me want to stand up and clap or snap my fingers. Like, hell yeah, semi-inspiring, semi-relatable, all that. And in my mind, I'm like, wait, this is supposed to be a rom-com. And honestly, there were only like 2 instances where I like genuinely laughed. Don't laugh at that. But it was, at the same time, it stuck out because all the other rom-coms I've seen tend to have the same formula. But this one, like, stuck out on its own, at least for me.
It was different.
It was different.
It did things differently.
And it was genuine.
Okay. Stop, please.
Oh my god.
Okay, anyways, so if there's nothing else to say, then I can go back to what I was saying. We can move on to talking about 8-Man as a character. And now I can talk about how I relate to him, actually.
All right.
Wow, when you said later, you meant like, damn.
I meant
that's-
like literally in 5 minutes.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, no, okay.
I'm sitting up right now. Like, I'm really interested to hear this.
So his outlook at the beginning of the series, right? So his beginning essay or monologue where he's like, fuck normies, they're all like losers, they don't know what they're doing. That was me in middle school, man. That
Why
was,
were you like that?
Okay.
that was me being disillusioned, thinking like the worst of people, thinking that like, I don't know, I could become better than them. I was a stupid kid.
Okay, that's a good mentality, though, trying to become better than the people around you. I think that's a natural thing.
Well, the reasons for like trying to become better, I mean, I don't know, like because you hate people. Like, that's kind of fucked.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I was. I thought it was mostly because I think I was more precocious. I was doing a lot of reading a lot of literature on subjects that wouldn't be covered, like done by normal middle school kids, I guess.
Such as?
I remember getting really into like what's it called? Oh, I was reading some of the classic novels. I read 2001: A Space Odyssey at the time. I read a lot of novels from like, oh God, I can't remember their names anymore, but like
the Prince
authors. Like I'd read the same books my dad would be reading, and those dealt with more mature themes, and I thought I was cool because I could read them. As lame as that is.
There's a difference between reading and understanding them.
Yeah. There is. Yeah. No, yes. I recognize that. That's why I look back on that time and I'm like, I was retarded.
You know what 8-Man does a lot? Fucking read. You are literally 8-Man.
Stop, please.
He does read a lot. I just realized that. He does.
Anyways, what are your guys' perspective of 8-Man at the beginning of the series? Becker?
I thought he had an interesting viewpoint on the world, but I didn't necessarily like agree with it. I thought it was kind of like fucked, and I thought it was a little juvenile. But I mean, I kind of understand it. Like, him at his age, he would probably have that awful viewpoint. But I don't know. I like some of my favorite characters in anime have like kind of flawed views of the world, like Lelouch. Lelouch has a pretty fucked viewpoint, and he's still one of my favorite characters in anime. Because he's like just interesting to watch in and of himself. I can't say words today.
How dare you? You're on a podcast. You're supposed to say words.
I know, right? What the fuck?
Gosh, get it right. God, go read a book.
Please, guys, don't go back to this. Cap, what about you? What do you think of him?
His outlook is kind of interesting. It's pretentious. But at the same time, after watching the series for 3 times, I can see how it's more complex than that. In other flashbacks, we can see that he wanted to be popular, actually. He tried to talk to other people, hang out with girls, ask their numbers and such. But then afterwards, he just broke inside and grew a cynical shell as defense mechanism against the world. And while using wits and his brain, he has become who he was, I suppose. And that's how we introduced him into the first episode of the series.
Yeah, I don't think like people give his flashbacks enough credit, because when they show them, they're framed as like a haha, look at this comedy moment. But when you like remove that aspect, you realize like he was bullied as a kid. He was bullied in middle school. It was fucking horrible.
It was just bad experiences, or like it just didn't go his way.
He just had kind of a shitty life.
The experience we were shown though are only like a portion. I could just imagine that there were much more like instances that he had to deal with, and it just caused him to retreat further and further away from these people.
Yeah, he was reduced constantly, and just imagine how it is when you try to hang around with people you find to be interesting and just to be a part of something, and then you are rejected constantly, once again.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
Bacon, what did you think of 8-Man at the start of the series?
Personally, I liked him because, again, he was a different character that stuck out because I watched a lot of other anime series. But him as a character, number one, I just mostly dismissed a lot of his philosophies, mainly because he's in high school. Like, because I was just thinking to myself, okay, dude, you're young, you're in high school, everyone goes through this phase. I guess you could say I kind of went through that phase where I just hated everyone, but not in the way it's like, oh, they bullied me. I hated everyone because I was basically sick of, almost like today. Like, I'm just sick of everyone whining, complaining about everything. That's why I usually kept to myself. But I had my own. The only difference is that I actually had close friends that were deeper, you know, that were like my brothers, you know, like who I'm still friends with today. So I usually vent to them and they vent to me. Him, he was isolated, and so he had nothing but his own thoughts. And through his own thoughts, he had to, you know, entertain himself or at least make some light out of it, which is what I liked. So because he was rejected, because he was bullied, he was able to find the good in what he experienced. You know, cue the nice girl speech. With the nice girl speech, the one thing I liked about that speech, because he makes a good point, there are people out there, without even thinking, are just nice to you. Which is cool, you know. I'm glad I encountered people like that, because it's a little different if someone comes up to you and says, "Oh, what's up, you idiot?" And it's like, dude, really? But when someone says, "Hey, how are you? You look good." Oh, yeah, you feel good. But the thing that hurts is, do they really mean that? And I think also this is an example of him wanting something genuine. He was so sick of all these fake ha-has and fake greetings. He didn't realize what was real anymore. And he hasn't experienced anything real because all he's experienced is negative.
Yeah, that's a good point you made about the fakeness. I think that's something that's very much rooted. I think that's why it's probably a very popular show, is because that core theme is so prevalent in today's society amongst like everyone, especially like Facebook friends. Like that's just the epitome of that fakeness.
Epitome?
Yeah, sure.
Epitome?
Maybe I can't English, guys.
I'm sorry. It's just sometimes when you...
Wow, Bacon, the way to be a real friend.
Remember way back we were talking about Konosuba and you said machoist? And I was like, masochist! You idiot! Get it right!
Shut up.
I'm sorry.
But, yeah, there's also another good point you made about how, like, he's kind of like right about some things, and that's something else I want to ask about, because how much of what he says do you think is right and wrong? I personally think that most of it, what he says, is grounded in like some logic, and it's hard to refute that logic entirely, but the viewpoint he takes is like an emotionally damaged one, and that's why I feel like it's not always correct.
Well, it's because it's through his experience, because he's able to back up all of his philosophies, because boom, here's an example of someone being nice to me, and here's an example of like, he has his own examples for those, but of course on our end, since we're witnessing it, we have examples that could, you know, be a rebuttal against that. Then again, we can't exactly tell him that because he's a make-believe character, but you know, it's...
Yeah, Cav, what do you think about his, how right Hachiman is?
I believe it's really hard to point out whether he was right or wrong, because it really depends on his own experience with life and with girls and such. I mean, we're just observers, and we do not know what he feels is right and what is wrong. So, yeah, from my point of view, it's really hard to say. I don't know. But the fact that it is so easy to relate to his issues and to see that he's actually kind of solving problems in his own way, made his character work. Like you see that there is a logic to it, right?
Speaking of his solutions, how many do you think actually like were correct? I mean, the second season obviously makes a point to say his solutions were wrong, or it wasn't the best solutions, and as a result it's caused problems. But do you think any of his solutions were actually like the correct one? Like, I can think for the first episode that his solution to that Yui's problem was actually like perfectly fine. I could see that happening in like 20 other anime.
Yeah.
Exactly 20? Or?
Exactly 20.
Name them.
Generic Bal harem number 1, generic Bal harem number 2, magical harem number 3.
Oh my god, we're going to be here all day.
I know, and I've seen all of those. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow.
I believe...
So we're talking about his solutions.
Yeah, go ahead, Cap.
Yeah, I believe his solutions, none of them were really acceptable. In that sense, more like Yukino's tries to come up with her solutions were more acceptable for general audience. And it's kind of interesting that it were Hachima's solution which worked out and not Yukino's.
Yeah, that ends up being a big plot point though, with how Yukino just doesn't solve anything.
Yeah,
and kind of
but
like feeds into her character.
About it a bit later. Yeah,
we'll talk
and
about it later.
there is one more thing I want to mention that, as Shizuka points out in second season, Hachiman can easily read people's thoughts, but he can't read people's hearts. And I guess it's one of the major points to his character.
Yeah.
God, that's so edgy.
Yeah. Stop it. Speaking of something edgy, let's talk about his most memorable moment in the entire series. You know the one. Fucking genuine.
the sports festival, man, when he had the red headband. Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah.
Okay.
So memorable.
So genuine. His whole monologue, that one section, that's basically my favorite part of the whole series. That's the climax of his character arc. It's where everything falls into place and he finally admits something. He finally gets actual development for his character, which is absolutely amazing. And I thought it was really well done. We talked about it earlier, but there's that rejection of the fake relationships and preferable for something real. There's actually a concept in Japanese culture called hone and tatame. I can't say it, but we'll link it in the description. And it's this idea that you have a public face and a private face. Public is the one, obviously, that everyone sees, and private is one that's reserved for only the most intimate of friends and family.
So kind of like us, how we're normal on the outside, but we're weebs on the inside.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, the fact that we're closet weebs.
Maybe I'm a weeb on the outside. You don't know.
You don't know. Maybe I'm a weeb on the outside and a really huge elitist on the inside. Who knows? What am I?
But yeah, that what he's asking for there is basically to be able to see their private face, which is a declaration that he wants to become the most intimate of friends with them, which is huge. Because he's actually admitting that he wants a relationship with them. And keep in mind that when he asks for something genuine, he doesn't want a romantic relationship. And it's important to make that distinction, because I feel like a lot of people get swayed by all the waifu wars that occur, and they think that the series has to end with him being in a romantic relationship with one of the girls because of what he said with
it doesn't have to.
It doesn't have to. I'd actually prefer it if it didn't, because I think at least not at the end without a time skip, preferably. Right. That's the only way I could accept it. But what do you guys think about genuine?
Well, the genuine thing, first of all, number one, it was interesting seeing that dude tear up. I was just okay, because he built himself up throughout the series as this whole battle-hardened... He said an exact line that he's a battle-hearted loser, he's lost so many times it doesn't hurt anymore. Definition of Linkin Park numb, man, because he's been hurt so many times. I guarantee you that I'm pretty sure all of Meteor Era, the whole album of Meteor Era is in his freaking MP3 player. I don't know what he had for music shit, but when he was confessing that to them, I like that because remember, he was just being around Yui and Yukino because he was a part of that club. That's it. That's the only reason why he was there. And there's one point in the series where he was busy with helping that other girl out, that he was skipping out on his club activities. And I guess, of course, in Japan, skipping out on your club activities is skipping out on church. It's so bad. But he just didn't appear a few times, and it felt empty without him. But at the same time, with him, he just wanted a more better reason to hang out with those two, other than being, I'm here because I remember Yukino when he found 8-Man at the mall. She's I'm gonna accompany you now. It's why? Because you're gonna do something bad and you're gonna get us reported. It was stuff like that. I'm not gonna hang out with you because you're my friend. And I don't think at any point they say they're friends except for Yui, which we dismiss very easily. But I think that's what triggered him to, really say to them, can I be friends? In a layman's terms, can we really hang out and actually learn about each other? Because, when you think about it, even towards the end of season 2, they really don't know much about each other. Or at least I don't think so. You know?
That's fair, yeah. I mean, it was a pitfall. Like, he wanted that search for something genuine, and it kind of, like, stagnates there, though. Like, there's no progress after he says that declaration. And it kind of... Well, I mean, maybe. There's a few things. But he doesn't really think about it too much following that. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Like, he realizes that there's a lot of steps required before he can say that he's achieved his goal.
Yeah.
Cav, you were going to say something?
Yeah, it's one of the most interesting things that after his declaration, there things have changed, but they also led to awkwardness in following episodes. And yeah, it's kind of interesting how the atmosphere was still tense between him and Yukino, but it was another kind of tense atmosphere. But yeah, in general, this episode showed him breaking from his shell for once. And from one side, it was willingness to open to other people, to show that he wants to hang out with them, to be friends with them, share most intimate opinions and such. And from the other side, also accepting other people's care, that he wants to see both Yukino and Yui as his friend as well, and that they are more than just strangers, and that hurting himself is also hurting their feelings.
Yeah. I got a big NGE vibe from it as well. I mean, for obvious reasons, the fact that
like, was his hand all sticky afterwards? He's all like, "Oh god."
No.
No, sorry.
Well, obviously, it's the fact that at the end of NGE, Shinji is accepting of the fact that it's okay to hurt others. And
bro, is that spoilers?
Oh yeah,
I didn't even know that was his thought process.
You should bleep out that section.
I'll put a spoiler warning in the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, just put a spoiler warning in that. Yeah, please. But yeah,
how dare you?
Then like the whole congratulations scene was basically like him accepting that he could hurt others and others could hurt him, and it was okay for that to happen.
Oh god. God.
Becker, you've seen tons of anime. Have you ever seen something similar to Genuine and anything else?
Actually, not really. That's kind of what I like about Oregairu, like Bacon said a while back. It's pretty unique. I don't think I've really seen a show that like,
I have seen
it's
one.
kind of like it. Oh, really?
Yeah,
Go ahead,
I have seen one. Once again, I'm not sure if it's spoilers, but Kyon's confession back in Disappearance.
Oh yeah, now that you bring that up, yeah, that's actually pretty close. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's
Never thought of it that way.
I don't think that's a spoiler to say that he has a speech at some point.
yeah.
There's a lot of monologues
as long as you don't
too.
spoil the contents of the speech.
Hey,
Although that's kind of an implication spoiler, but nobody really cares.
We'll put a spoiler warning in either way.
It's like, what are they gonna do? Take away our scholarships?
Yeah.
They won't do it. No
They
balls.
already did, Bacon.
No, they didn't. I still have it. I'm good.
Okay, so just to end off, let's move on to the next character. But do you guys like we can say he's well written, but do you like 8-Man?
Like as a person?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would hang out with him after school or anything, but I would say he's an interesting person to observe.
Okay, what about you, Cav?
observer, I see. I probably won't have a conversation because neither he nor I would approach each other. So yeah, and I believe he would come across as a freak, kinda. So I don't feel I would hang out with him.
Yeah. Bacon, what about you?
Let's put it this way. So, I wouldn't say he'd be in my close friend group, because he'd be thinking he'd have a very cynical mindset on everything, and I'm not sure if he would view myself and the rest of my friends that way. But if there's a situation where we're somehow just chilling in my room, playing video games, and it's like 1 a.m., and we get into... Because when I get tired and I'm hanging out with my friends early morning, we end up doing what we call real talk. You guys...
Oh, yeah.
You yeah, and so I would honestly want Hachiman there if there's a real talk session, but keep in mind that's
Bro, he's gonna say some deep shit. You know?
Yeah, and I like stuff like that. Like you learn so much about your friends when it comes to you having real talk sessions. This works for anyone in any friend group. If you never had a quote unquote real talk session, I really feel like you haven't really bonded at that point, because that's when you start not really confessing things, but you just start talking about things.
You start understanding each other.
Yeah, you understand each other and your perspective, or like, sometimes now. None of my real talk sessions have ever ended in arguments, but there were some times where things got heated. And with Hachiman, I feel like it would get heated. Like, no, dude, that girl likes you, man. He'd be like, no, she doesn't. And then like it would end up being insulting. I was like, dude, why are you such a bitch all the time? And it's like, no, I'm not. And then, like it would end up like that. But I feel like I would really want him there because it is another perspective on how you see life. And having someone like that can really open your eyes, which he did open my eyes a few times. And it got me thinking a lot about how I see everyone else. Not saying my whole mindset changed because of him, but learning different perspectives could always give you a better understanding about why people do what they do or why people act the way they act. Yeah. And that's always important with anything.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so let's move on to you talking about Yukino. Because she's one of the other main characters that Bacon actually bought a figurine for.
First of all, I bought that because I lost a bet. Not saying I regret buying it.
You don't even give a fuck. You don't even care.
I bought that after the best girl contest.
Genuine.
Shut up! I didn't genuinely buy that with genuine money. I bought it with Monopoly money.
Stop, Bacon! You can't just keep making that joke.
Don't get me wrong.
That was me that made that joke.
Oh my god.
Don't get me wrong. The figure is nice. And I got that, I think, after I watched the first season and after the Best Girl contest concluded with her being the winner, because that was the bet. I'll buy a figure of whoever wins. I had my fingers crossed that Senju Kaharu would lose. Thank God she did, because if I bought that, I would be like, oh, I'm going to burn you. I'm going to throw you in the trash. And now people are freaking out. But wait, you got Yukino. She's basically a crappier version of Senju Kaharu. Wrong. Senju Kaharu's garbage. Yukino's way better. I'm gonna say that. Down pat.
All right. So you say Yukino's better than Senju Kaharu. Like, unpack that a little bit. That's a bold claim to make.
Very bold claim.
I stand by it. Her ZR game is way better than Senjo's. Her hair game is way better. Okay.
Well, yeah. Okay.
She doesn't go around. She doesn't go around stapling people's mouths. And like doing that.
Dude, she did that like the first. She does a lot more than just use staplers, bro. Come on. It's fine if you don't like Senjo, but like that's the dumbest reason ever, Bacon.
You don't say hi to someone like that. Like right when I saw that, I was like, I hate you.
Bro, she is like socially retarded. That's her character.
Okay, guys, let's continue this in the comments.
Who's socially?
I'm talking about Senju Kaharu.
Okay, thank you. I agree.
Guys, okay, let's. We don't have to talk about this anymore. Anyways, so Yukino. She is a fun character with her bants. Personally, I think that her opening conversations with 8-Man were really interesting. Like, It was even though it was a pretty harsh exchange, it was snappy, it was quick, it was great. And then as the series went on, it kind of like it retained that, but it became less harsh, which was nice. I actually really liked that. Like it went from you're a stain on humanity. You're worthless. To
dude,
like
that shit was so sad.
Oh, you're just so sad. You're just you might be a little bit like trash. Ha! Got you there. Like that's the difference. It was nice. Do you guys have any like moments of Yukino that you really liked or enjoyed or anything? Bacon?
Quite a few. Well, I like the part where any part where she's meowing at a cat, that's adorable.
Yeah, she's like interested in cats and shit. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I love that. But I think one part that does stick out, well, I guess you could say, because I know there are a lot of examples of her not being able to function properly. Because there's one part where when she was walking around with Hachiman in the mall, following him because he was walking around and she was like just getting really close to him. At one point they end up at a bra store, and then Hachiman's like looking at the poster, and it was advertising, comfortable 2B, like the size, and Yukino just like bolted away, and like Hachiman's like, don't worry, you'll get there.
That's right. She's flat-chested as fuck.
Yeah. And so she's kind of like patting herself. She's like, damn it. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, that's so adorable. I like how she has legitimate things that she's very self-conscious of. Because, you know, she's portrayed as this ice queen. She's perfect, smart, athletic, and all that too. But then, you know, she's self-conscious. She's not be able to function properly sometimes. But one moment that was very heartwarming was when she was nursing Hachiman's knee. I like that moment.
Oh, yeah.
Was it
their kiss?
The knee, yeah. I was like, ooh, it was so adorable.
Cav, what about you? Any moments you liked?
It's mostly the first episode because it established the atmosphere and the dynamics between Hachiman and Yukino, and then everything else was kind of follow-up. Like you were saying, the conversation has been gradually less and less harsh, and in second season they disappeared completely. Practically because they were awkward with each other most of the time. But yeah, it's mostly the first episode where it set the tone, which I like the most.
Oh, something I actually want to mention. I almost forgot about this. But when it gets to later and later episodes, she sort of has this more possessive attitude towards 8-Man, like similar to a Yandere, where like they'll have like Iroha does something with 8-Man, and then she'll get really mad, or smile, but then get really harsh with her words, and it's great. I love those scenes like that.
It's so adorable.
Yeah, Becker, what about you? Any moments that you like about her? Oh,
No.
Oh. Okay.
I can't say that I'm the biggest Yukino fan. She never really I never thought she was that hot shit from the start. I was like, I'm more interested in all these other characters like 8-Man, Yui, Saika, Yukino's sister. Yukino's sister is a million times better than Yukino.
Oh.
She's the best.
She's hilarious. I like her too.
I love her interactions with 8-Man. They're great. Yo, girls' interactions with 8-Man, that's the best part about the show.
Oh yeah, I agree. And his interactions with the tennis girl or tennis boy, whatever you want to call him.
It's a guy. God damn it.
It's
sorry.
There's no. Yeah, is there proof?
Yes,
it's a guy.
Yes, he says he's a guy.
Well, you'll know that.
I'm pretty sure she says she's a girl.
Pull down those shorts. Let's check it out.
Whoa, bacon. That's rude.
Wait, what? Whoa.
Kind of rape over here.
Don't you dare accuse me of such
Bacon's a racist and a rapist.
How dare you? No, you're racist.
A ton of raping.
God damn. Great. Now everyone's gonna associate me with that. This is not true.
Okay.
You're all terrible.
Let's move on to something more serious about Yukino. One big theme about her is her inability to solve issues, and the fact that she has to rely on someone. And she actually acknowledges this at the end of the second season, that she's the type of person who relies on someone. Whether it was, we can speculate at one time it was Hayama. We know for sure it was Haruno. And we also know for sure that it's now 8-Man. So what do you guys think about it? Kavrik, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, its development, which, as we have talked about it before, was not welcomed by everyone, because many people thought that Yukino was ruined and just became an Emma character while she was so great in the first season. I do not agree with it because it's very interesting development to her. It's added depth to her character, and how she is also a foil to Hachiman in a sense. While they both grow shells and try to keep their facade, she's even more awkward with herself than Hachiman, because while Hachiman came out and asked for something genuine, Yukino still stayed to herself and couldn't.
I know, I hated that.
With her.
I was like, come on, Yukino.
Yeah, she couldn't
poured his heart out to
with her confession, and worst the cup still the very end of the anime. And yeah, something like that. As Haruno mentions in later in the season, there is no trust, but something more sinister between her and Hachiman. And one of the most interesting scenes here in the final episode, where there's a phone talk with Haruno, and she repeats everything word for word what Hachiman has said that Yukino should say to Haruno. Do you remember this episode? This moment?
I don't recall. Is it in the very last episode?
Yeah, in the very last episode.
Oh.
Yeah, he relies on Hachiman before, and relying on Hachiman now and on Haruno before, and yeah, that's like this. Something like this.
Yeah, one huge thing is that because of that issue, I can't see them, like, it's bad if the series ends with her not getting past this. And, well, okay, so before the second season aired, I already knew that it would be a bad thing for them to end up as a couple without Yukino resolving her issues on her own, without 8-Man solving them for her. Luckily, at the end of the second season, 8-Man admits that this is a problem Yukino should be able to solve on her own, which is good because he's actually pushing her into that direction. This was before, because this was something new. No one ever knew about before the second season aired, because Volume 11 released at around the same time. So I'm glad he went that direction. My hope is that he continues along that direction and makes sure that Yukino is able to, because this is going to be the final volume, so there's a lot to do, and she has to somehow solve her family problems by herself, maybe with minimal support at least, but she needs to be the focus in what she does, in how she solves things, and I hope it stays true to that, and then maybe we'll go from there and see how else she develops. But yeah,
there's a lot to talk about the last volume and how there are so many things to wrap up, and now you can see why it is so many times it was delayed.
Yeah, that or he's worried about putting him 8-Man together with a girl at the end, and he knows people will riot over that, and he just keeps delaying until people forget about Oregairu and they can write the ending he wants. Because I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. People are going to get pissed, no matter what ending he writes. So what do you?
If I could say something,
go ahead.
Just an observation. So as we all know, season 2 is very controversial. Maybe divisive is a better word.
Yeah.
And I think I have somewhat of an idea why people dislike, the kinds of people that dislike season 2 are Yukino fags, maybe.
Yeah.
Not true in my situation, but go on.
As someone who wasn't a Yukino fag, I'm like, I'm kind of okay with this. I wasn't on the Yukino train from the start, and I'm like, well, this isn't really changing my opinion of her.
Yeah, I was going into arguments with other people about season 2, and many of them were saying how they ruined Yukino, and that they like her banter so much in the season 1, and now she is like here and doing nothing, and she's ruined.
Yeah, that's goddamn Yukino fags.
Honestly,
the best
they're the worst. They're almost as bad as, like, I don't know, Asuka fags.
Haha. They're terrible.
Yeah. No, I agree with you there. So let's talk about her issues with the family, or like let's talk about her relationships with family members. We know Haruno is the biggest one, and Yukino over relied on Haruno, and we can like see allusions to this as Haruno mentions how the things she did in the past and then relates them directly to what Yukino's doing now, and we kind of get that viewpoint as she's either following in her sister's footsteps or trying to break away from her, but we can't really tell what exactly she's trying to do.
We can speculate about it.
Sorry, what?
We can speculate about it.
Oh yeah, speculate about it, yeah, for sure. Which is nice, because I actually like it more than being told what other characters are thinking, which is good for the series. I'd hate it to see it from the perspective, or have like multiple perspectives for something like this. It's nicer to be able to figure it out for yourself. But yeah, there's also Yukino's mom, and she's an interesting character because we hear so little about her.
I do not feel she's such an interesting character. She's like a trope, maybe, of a strict and wealthy mother figure in Japan, and that influenced Yukino a lot and put a lot of weight on her shoulders.
But in the light novel, this is probably one advantage of it, but there's a view that Hachiman takes of the mother, like how there's this like menace behind her words. Not menace, but like there's this iciness behind the words that she says. Like when Yui goes up and says like, "Oh well, we're good friends with her. Yukino will be friends forever," or something like that. And there's this little bit of tinge behind the mother's words when she kind of like accepts that Hachiman notices. Like it's not really. She doesn't really like believe it. It feels like she doesn't believe it 100%. It feels like she's kind of like, "Oh, are these the friends that Yukino's gonna have?" It's sort of that like. Well, the best comparison I can make is like think of Cersei from Game of Thrones and how she says one thing but can mean several other things at the same time. Right? There's this facade that she has on the surface, and then what her words what she says is different from what she means.
Yeah.
And that's why I think she's more interesting. But again, this is only because of the light novel specifically pointing this out. In the anime, it's next to impossible to actually understand, which is unfortunate. But that's at least what I think about the mother. Yeah. Becker, from the one or two times that you saw Yukino's mom, what do you think?
She aight.
She aight, man. Like,
she aight? Great.
It's just really quick, and I'm just like, okay, yep, that's a mom. A mom.
I guess that is a maternal figure.
Yep. Gave birth to perfection. That's for
Guys,
sure.
Came out of her.
Do you think Haruno is great?
Great.
Yes.
Sure.
She has the best dojins, that's for sure.
Oh, God. We had to
almost
go
an
this...
entire hour without talking
God,
about that.
how dare... Oh, better reset the clock.
You know,
Resetting the podcast clock.
Time is a flat circle, guys.
How
oh my
dare
God, what have you seen like True Detective or some shit?
God.
Are you Rust?
Dude, look at this guy here. Get the hell out of here.
So, and I guess the final thing I want to talk about Yukino is what do you want to speculate about her past? Because her past is shrouded in mystery. We get like a few mentions about it. What do you think happened to her before? Becker, do you have anything you want to say about this? Or
Well, obviously, she was a child soldier in Africa.
Tough line.
No, I'm kidding. I don't really have much to speculate.
Okay. Bacon, what about you?
I think in her past she was controlled a lot by her mom, by her sister, by her whole family, to the point where she didn't necessarily have an identity of her own. I think that's my theory.
Okay.
And now, like, she's in high school trying to, take charge, make a name for herself in high school. But then you have Haruno behind her back saying, "Oh, look at you," trying to be all tough and hot shit and all that. And she's like, "Shut up, I'm my own person." Yeah, I feel like there's there's obviously some sort of rebellion going on within her family, but I want to know more of that. But that's what.
Okay. Cav, what about you?
I guess it's evidence that she was raised in a respectable and wealthy family, and she is expected to follow formal traditions and such, and to be the face of Kinoshita family. So there is a lot of pressure on her shoulders, and strict upbringing made her who she is. And she was constantly looking up to her sister Haruno, and maybe her mom, and everything just piled up and made her such a scaredy cat.
Yeah, I could understand that. I'm curious about her relationship with Hayama. They only
that's a lot
talk
of...
about it a bit.
Yeah.
So hopefully, Volume 12 will have more answers, or maybe the
When is that supposed to come out?
never.
Oh,
It's been delayed indefinitely.
How dare
It no longer
they?
has a release. At the time of this airing, it doesn't have a release date. So
Probably the same year as Force Evangelion movie.
yeah.
oh, yeah, that one. Okay. That's all right. That's believable. Okay.
Okay, let's talk about the final main character in this series, Yui. What do you guys think of her at the start of the series?
She's a terrible cook.
You're not wrong.
She can't cook for shit.
a
She
female that
uses
can't
salt
cook?
instead of sugar
Terrible.
when she makes cookies. Like,
Rookie mistake. Rookie mistake. Get out.
Cav, what do you think about her?
Yeah, she's a bit uncheerful and likable girl, as Hachiman aptly puts it. A nice girl who seeks help. Later on, we observe she's that has some troubles in her class with talking to so-called elite. Yeah, she's just a nice girl who kind of opposite to Yukino and her first impression. As we get to see later on, it's also kind of a facade and the face to the public, but we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. Bacon, what about you?
She's just your typical girl. That's the way I labeled her.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna get fucking triggered over this because, like, this one guy dropped the series as episode 1, and he claimed that Yui was a generic Genki girl, and he was like, "I'm not having any of that." And I got so pissed off when I read that because I was like, "You little piece of casual shit! You must suck your thumb at night and wet your bed, don't you?"
You need to chill.
You back up. He ain't worth it, man. I'm holding my arm. I'm holding my arm back.
Bro, you already got 3 strikes.
Dude,
like shit.
Bacon,
like,
you just said my name.
Oh, it's been a while.
well, he'll be fine.
It's been a while. Sorry. I forgot.
Okay, yeah. If people are triggered so easily by one character in one episode, then probably they searched for an excuse to not continue the series.
That's probably true. Yeah.
I will say I really liked what's her name? The Seiyu for Yui. I thought she did a really good job.
Oh yeah,
of playing.
she's pretty
Yui.
good.
She's the voice actress for Chidagi from Nisekoi.
It's
That's how I recognize her. I was like,
Naoto
hey, that's that one girl.
Like, hey, you
No,
sound
she's,
very annoying. You're perfect for Yui. Perfect.
Hey, no, she
Whoa.
did it. She sounded great as Yui. She's adorable. She sounded so adorable when she says like bye bye in her English. It's great.
Yeah, hello.
Oh my god! Why didn't you?
you?
So Randy, why didn't you start this podcast with "Yeah, hello"? I'm
not a fan of those memes, man.
Well, dude, I react the same way every time
like,
she says
this is an
that.
Oregairu podcast. You gotta start with "Yeah, hello." Like,
For me, I get irritated when she says that. I'm like, are you saying yo?
Dude,
Are you saying
you haven't even
hello?
you haven't even seen the Kami subs for it. Kami subs translate as yo sup.
Yo, sup.
Yo, sup, man?
what's up, bitch?
How you be, man? How you be?
How's it hanging,
It'd be
man?
like it do.
Well, it's funny because every time she said hi like that, I reacted almost the exact same way Yukino and Hachiman did. They're just like, hey, like,
Oh god, it's this guy.
I know. God, can't you just say hi like a normal person?
No.
Yui is no normal girl.
And that is true because she's actually displayed a lot of growth throughout the series to prove that she's not the generic Genki girl like we all think she is, or like most people would view her as after the first episode or something. I can think of a lot of specific examples, specifically like most of them are in season 2. Like after his fake confession. Oh, I want to talk about that actually because a lot of people don't realize that Yui was planning to confess to Hachiman after Toby confessed to Ebina, and it really like drives home how terrible that must have been for her. Why she's so upset because she was hoping to keep that mood going, that happy confessy mood going, and then just
Oh yeah, she likes doing that.
Confess
She's a big fan of that.
Yui is suffering.
Yeah, and then like for that split second, she saw him like confess, and in her heart like ripped in half. Like she didn't even know how to react. I feel so terrible, and I could totally understand why she's so sad afterwards, and like she says about how it hurts to see him throw himself under the bus, and it's just like it's great to see Yui care so much, which I really like. I feel like your generic Genki girl might not be as thorough as Yui is in that regard. Any moments you guys want to talk about?
Yeah. So we could speculate that she cared for Hachiman ever since the accident happened in the first season. Yeah, it's kind of interesting how the accident is not touched at all in season 2. Like, it's all the past, and everyone kind of forgot about it. Anyway, she cared for Hachiman ever since that, and maybe with helping with cookies, because Hachiman came up with a kind of suitable solution, which also made Yui like him even more. And there is speculation to be had that she came to the service club for the first time, maybe because she wanted to meet him and thank him, and just to establish a relationship. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Bacon. Go ahead.
Yeah. She wants. She's a nice girl, and she grows even more attached to the group since then, and I believe she understands the situation better than some people give her credit, and she is not a super bright girl, but she's definitely not a dumb one, as some people try to claim.
I kind of disagree with that, but go on.
Yeah, go on.
No, go ahead, Bacon.
Well, the vibe I got from Yui was she was just someone, I guess you could say, living her life with this friend group of hers. And I felt like she was almost in the middle of it all with these two very interesting characters, Yukino and Hachiman. Because with her, she was just basically witnessing all these weird solutions to all these problems that they're encountering. The ones that she wasn't, I'd say, involved with. I felt like she was just an extra bystander, or like an extra voice of reason to be tossed in there. But she was kind of like just witnessing all this craziness going on. You know, that's why in my mind, Yui to me was just, again, I use the term loosely, but just another random girl that acts on her emotions, who's always fake happy or fake saying hello, what's up, all that stuff. I don't know. I can't really put it into words, but I feel like she was just watching almost, or if we were in that situation, we would react the same way, kind of thing. Like I would say that she's the most human character in the series.
She's probably the most socially aware out of the two, anyways, and her actions reflect this greatly. Which is why I can't really fault her for it, because she's acting like how she's known to act with her other friend group. But Yukino and Hachiman like challenge this because they're so broken and they're so like socially awkward that she has to work harder to try and like to talk to them, to understand them and everything. So yeah. Question for you guys. Is Yui best girl?
Yes.
No, that's Iroha.
No.
Oof.
I like saying no to those who think they're powerful.
Is that a JoJo reference?
Everything's a JoJo reference if you're a man enough.
Dude, you're a JoJo reference.
I know, dude.
Oh, man. So, last question I want to ask about Yui is, what do you think her end goal is at the end of Season 2, Episode 13?
Oh, that whole thing with, like, talking to them at the pier...
at the fish place, where she kind of ended.
I forgot about that action.
Dude, that's a good scene.
I was like trying to think. There's a pier, a fish
okay,
place?
not pier, but like
They're at aquarium.
Aquarium, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right, the aquarium.
Yes. So there was fish. That was right, actually.
Yeah.
So
You're welcome.
what do you like? This is sort of a thing that a few people don't have an exact idea on. So I'm curious about what you guys think. What was her aim in that scene? What was she trying to do?
Yeah. I have read several opinions which are conflicting with each other, which is kind of interesting because you do not actually see that many times where there are arguments to be had about actually endings in high school anime, and they are so divisive and so many of them. So I believe Yui's goal, and it was tied to previous episodes. Well, essentially, by the end of the second season, everyone in the group has made a request to each other. Hachiman's request was that he wants something genuine. It was in the 8th episode. Yui's request was that she wants to resolve the situation with the relationship within the group. It's in the last episode, hints were given earlier, and was kind of provoked by Haruna in the previous episode, where she said that they keep on pretending and nothing has happened. And Yukino's request was heavily hinted at the end, that she wants them to reach out to her, or actually more like wait for her to come out of her shell. And in that sense, the ending was complete, that everyone has come up with requests to each other. And I believe it is also a very interesting observation for Yui. Like, Hachiman mentions that the whole nice girl thing for Yui is actually a lie and just a facade. And if you think about it and take on hints, it's true. Well, for example, even in season 1, the episode with fireworks, where they kinda go on a date with each other, and then they stumble into Haruna, who talks about Yukino, and just straightly says that she doesn't want Hachiman to leave Yukino behind. And afterwards, there is an interrupted confession where Yui confesses to Hachiman, and she knows that this way they will probably leave Yukino behind. Yet she still tries to confess. Once again in episode 2 in season 2, where she also tries to confess. Then again, in episode 13, she asks for Yukino's permission, that she wants to go all out in the episode and try to claim Hachiman all for herself.
I agree with that.
And Yukino, talk about it later. And Yukino says that she's kind of okay with that. She doesn't have an opinion of herself at all at that scene, at that episode. Like, she's just here. And then she tries to come with the cookies and say that, yeah, I want you, basically. And Hachiman looks at Yukino and wants to see her reaction, and she almost says that she doesn't mind it. But then Hachiman saves the situation by saying that I do not want this superficial relationship to go on, and that they need to solve their problems before actually anything else goes on. So, all in all, she might still be a nice girl, but she's not a selfless one, and she wants to actually fight for her love and to take Hachiman, and that's what I got from it.
Bacon Becker, any thoughts?
What are we talking about?
Okay, Becker, I guess that's it for your thoughts then. Bacon, what about you?
So we're talking about Yui's confession at the end. Not confession, but what's her goal about
her actions at the end, like in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, about the cookies and all that stuff and whatever. I agree with what Kat was talking about, how Yui is kind of asking permission to go all out and try to go after Hachiman for herself. Mainly because they've been together for how long now? You know, they're just together regardless if it's genuine or not. At one point, one of those girls has to catch feelings for this guy. You know, then again, who knows? Maybe Hachiman will get friend zoned again and get shunned, and history repeats itself. I think that'd be hilarious if that happened. Kind of hoping for that too.
Loner end.
Yeah, loner end. I'm perfectly fine with that because again, this is what makes this anime stick out from all the rest. Then again, I could think of a handful of other series where it kind of does end like that. But with that in mind, the fact that Yui said all those things and kind of is sort of like jabbing Yukino, saying, "Hey, I'm gonna do it. What are you gonna do about it?" Kind of is what I read from it.
Yeah.
But it was a really respectful way of doing it. Because if it was really blunt, I would not enjoy seeing those two fight or scratch each other like freaking Orimo. It would be lit at first, and at the same time, I'm just like, wait, I genuinely like these two characters. Don't laugh at that. But it's no, I like these characters too much to see anything bad happen to them. But I wouldn't mind something ending in a disaster, for lack of a better word. So the fact Yui's taking this first step towards this so-called goal of either taking Hachiman for himself or at least trying to push Yukino to take Hachiman as well. I just hope it doesn't take the generic, oh, love triangle arc, oh goodness, you know, now I have to try to swoop him off his feet and impress him. Better get on my knees and give him stuff, you know, like gifts, you know. But that's the way I see.
No, that's understandable. That's why I personally hope that the series doesn't end with him ending up with any of the girls. That he actually he just becomes really good friends with them, and he actually ends up marrying or like having a relationship with with Sensei because she needs it, but with someone else, because I think it drives home another theme of the series, which is that like high school isn't everything. It's it's not. It's an important place to like develop and like learn, and to also the fact that, you know, a genuine relationship isn't one that's necessarily romantic, and if he wants a genuine relationship with both of them, he can't go directly into a romantic one with either of them without hurting their feelings. But like that hurt is still like something that he's kind of conflicted on, I think, because Sensei talks about how it's okay to hurt them, but he's also worried how far can he go to hurt them if he does anything. Like, I'm assuming he was well aware of what Yui was trying to do at the end. But yeah, I hope it ends with him just being good friends with both of them, having a genuine relationship with them, and then, you know, banging Iroha instead.
What the whoa?
Oh yeah.
Let me guess.
And on that note, let's talk about Iroha.
Hold up.
Oh yeah, that's a great transition.
Is that a concept in one of the doujins you've seen? How dare you?
So what do you think about Iroha, guys?
I like Iroha. At first, I didn't like her because of her voice. It was like very high pitched.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you sound like a bitch.
Dude, same. That's exactly how I took it. I was like, gosh, if I knew you in real life, I would not enjoy being in your company.
But like the more I watched her, the more I like appreciated her playfulness with Hachiman. She's a good foil to a 8-man, definitely. I think someone actually already said foil like in a Reddit comment, and I was like, oh, that's a really good way to describe her. So I'm going to start using it.
You're taking it.
Whoever made that comment.
And this is mine now.
But yeah, I like her playfulness. She's just every scene with her and Hachiman is 10 out of 10. It's great. That's probably my favorite part about season 2.
I'm guessing you really,
because I'm still feel weird about that.
I'm guessing you really enjoyed the OVA then.
Oh, you bet I did.
Ooh, yeah.
Of course.
Ooh, what else?
Dude, we're like spin-off with Hachiman and Iroha when, please.
right now. We
Could
can
you
write a
say-
doujin right now.
Could you say it was better than Pinpoint's animation?
Yes. You won't do it. You won't do it.
Dude, watch me do it, dude. But don't actually watch me. That's kind of creepy.
Okay, Cab, what do you think about Iroha?
Who was the Iroha once again?
Oh my God, Cab.
Are you?
Ouch.
You're a big poop. I hate you.
That was a jab straight at Becker. Like, man, your girl is so forgettable.
You went right for the testicles. Like, damn.
Anyway, Iroha is a tricky character to analyze. She initially tries to use Hachiman as any other guy around here. But then again, she grows attached to him because it was actually his confession at the end of the episode 8, which made Iroha confess to Hayama at the end of the episode 9. Then she realizes she will... But then again, she realizes that she will never be the same to him as Yukino and Yui, and kinda steps back a bit. Yeah.
I can kind of see that, yeah.
Yeah, but once again, I don't see her role in the show in general, and she's not as interesting as the main trio, and at the same time, she's not a supporting character, and I have troubles to pinpoint her role in the show.
Ooh, that's actually interesting. From someone who really who likes the series so much.
How do you feel about Iroha, Randy?
I'm going to wait. Let's hear what Bacon says first.
Oh, wait. I already said my part. But you were
Oh, you did?
I? Oh, no, I didn't. Sorry, I was spacing out. I'll say so. I was looking at something.
Were you looking at Dojin? Were you looking at Iroha Dojin?
Okay,
Bacon?
I'm just looking up life-size figures of people. That's what I was looking at.
Oh, that's still weird,
It's
dude.
okay, moving on. Iroha... I agree a lot with Becker. Like, every situation when they're together, constantly just, she's always saying, "Oh, you're trying to date me." Every moment she's always doing the whole "you're trying to date me" or trying to hit on me, and she's like rejecting him like out of spite. That I could listen to that all day. That's genuinely funny. Don't laugh at that. It's the one part that really irritated me though when she was around was the whole again that freaking jazz hands guy. How Iroha was
Synergy guy?
Yeah, Synergy dude. And his Synergy entourage that drinks Starbucks coffee like water every day. God! When she was all saying, "Oh yeah, I'm helping this group out set up this festival," I was like, "Oh, dope, good for you. You're making an impact on your school." And yet she wasn't putting her foot down to step up and say something. That irritated me. I was like, "Come on, Iroha."
Yeah, I agree. As much as I like Iroha, like definitely she wouldn't like just fucking do shit.
Yeah, the fact that they had to bring in more help, Yukino coming to the rescue and just shutting that guy down, which is another reason why I freaking love Yukino, is because he shut that guy down.
Yeah.
I hate that guy so much because I know people like that. I know people who are exactly like that, and yet I don't say anything because then I look like an ass, But Iroha, I was just like kind of yelling at her. I was like, "Hey, say something. You have a week left. Say something." But I guess she's just, she's too afraid to get hurt really easily. I think is what her
goes with the
problem is.
flow.
Yeah, she just goes with it, and that's why that whole thing when she got rejected too hurt her a lot too. So it was kind of I read her as the kind of girl that just wants things to stay as they are, but doesn't want to get hurt in any way possible. That's what I saw her as.
I found
forever stasis.
I found her role in the show to be interesting because she is probably the only one who, at the time, actually tries to go for something after hearing what Hachiman says, and it ends terribly for her. She gets hurt, but he sees this, and I think I like to think in the back of his mind, Hachiman's mind, like he understands what she went through. What she tried to go for some real relationship. She tried to make progress in understanding someone else. And even though she was hurt, she still wants to keep going forward. It's something that we see later on in Mura when she wants to know more about Hayama. And I like these sort of things where you see this now that he's admitted that he sees this want for a real relationship echoed in other people. And it I hope it convinces him to go further, like take the risk, like don't be afraid. You there's no other way you can really go that far.
I can see that, yeah.
And her I think her role in the show, especially in season 2, is to provide a little bit more lightheartedness, as a way to like keep things okay, like not too heavy, which is important because there's no narrative way to actually like to make things lighter. Because with especially in the beginning with Komachi being mad at 8-Man, with Yui and Yukino being awkward around him, the only character you have left is Iroha, who can take a step back, who isn't part of this conflict, and can kind of like do something else with him, which is nice because you don't have much of that until we get to the end of Volume 9 or the end of Episode 8. I think that's a strong part of her role, but she also it's more like Hachiman can see things about her that he, I guess, how do I say this? Actually, no, I'm probably not thinking of the right thing. I'm just going to reiterate my previous point, but I think she's a nice character. She does mean a lot to Hachiman in what she's done. He takes responsibility for her, for what he's done to her, in terms of like making her convincing her to confess through his genuine speech, through making her student council president. He's basically trying to like convince her to go further. And even though it doesn't always work out for her, she still tries, and I like that about her. And I hope that 8-Man takes cues from that. Like, he's done it, he's convinced her in the shadows, in the background, but I hope he sees that, and he tries to change himself as well.
So, there's the question. Hayata and Hachiman. Who is Iroha after?
We will probably never know. It's hard to say. I personally think it's more lean towards 8-Man, just because in every rejection it gets less and less convincing. I mean, it's funny like that, but it also tells a lot about their relationship. Because at the start it's like, no, I have someone else I like, and then it's like, no, it won't work on me yet until you take me out on more dates.
And at one point he's really gonna ask her out, saying, "Do you want to go out with me?" And she's not even gonna say a word. She's gonna be like, "Yeah, all right," and that's gonna blow everyone's mind.
She's gonna just strip naked right there and bang him.
Whoa, dude! This is a family podcast. How dare you bring that into here?
We're talking about Oregairu, the edgiest anime in existence, and you're saying it's a family podcast. Okay, man.
Do you guys remember the really weird sex scenes in season 2? I don't know what the creators were thinking.
Look, this is a genuine family podcast.
Stop it, Bacon.
Yeah. How dare you?
But yeah, no, I think she's gunning for Hayama in a sense to make Hachiman jealous, but she realizes that it won't work out with Hayama, especially after like what Hayama has done to her. And I don't see Hayama ever actually accepting her feelings, because we know what Hayama's like. We know he's not going to make change, and he's probably going to keep things the same. Yep.
I can see how Iroha could go after Hayama just for the sake of social status, probably. But I didn't even think that one of her goals was to make Hachiman jealous.
It's sort of a weird thing though, because she originally she kind of hangs out more with 8-Man, and you can see her appeal is trying, even near the start, she kind of interacts a little bit too much with 8-Man before she really gets to know him. And when they're walking around in the mall with Hayama and those other girls, right? She goes straight to 8-Man, right? And Hayama actually comments on this, it's interesting that she's showing you this side,
yeah.
right? And there's no real reason for her to show him that side, right? To go that far, because at that point she didn't really know him as well, right? She knew a few things, but not as well. And I think part of it was trying to make Haima a bit jealous. At least I feel at the time, because she didn't know too much.
Can I say one thing about Haima?
Yep.
That freaking necklace thing that he wears irritates the hell out of me. Like, that's not pulling. That's
You're
not pulling your
jealous
outfit together.
He's styling.
No, that's not.
He's
That's
got that
styling.
streetwear.
Dude, that neck thing is for like people from like the South and Texas. You know, I'm like, dude, get out of here. All right, like that. Thing.
Maybe who's the author of this?
Wataru.
Watari. Maybe he went to Texas for a vacation or something, and he was just like, he just saw someone with that necklace. He's like, damn, I'm gonna put that on one of my characters.
God,
Maybe.
back at it again with the necklace.
God,
Who knows?
damn,
Okay,
Watari.
so let's we're getting closer to what I think would be the end of this. So let's talk about some of the other characters who are important. So we got hit my mic, the teacher, Shizuka. What do you guys think about her? Will she ever find love?
No.
No.
No, not unless she's willing to, you know, give Hachiman a chance. Because I like that one part where they were talking outside, and Hachiman was like, "Man, if I was born a decade earlier, you'd be the perfect woman for me." I don't think he said perfect, but you'd be a possible choice. In my mind, I'm like, damn, that's a pretty mature thing to kind of say at your age.
Oceans are writing themselves.
Oh my god.
They probably
No.
already are written.
The only thing is that, like, you know, she'd be cool if she didn't smoke. That's just how I am. Like, anyone attractive that smokes, I'm just like, oh, come on, baby girl. Like, you that stressed out?
Baby girl, please.
Come on, girl.
Oh no, baby, what is you doing?
What is you doing? Yes. Oh my god. Yes. That's the first thing I'll say to her. She lights it. Oh, baby, what's you doing? Oh my god. Yeah, that's how I feel about her. Christmas cake. Yeah, she's great.
I always hated her shoes. Like, her shoes looked really dumb. I don't know why. Has anyone noticed her shoes?
No.
Her shoes look really fun. They look like one of those Dutch wooden shoes. I'm sorry, but they look so
Her
dorky.
shoe game is not lit.
Shoe game not on point.
Dude, get a pair of
Kat,
Yeezys.
what do you think about Shizuka and her role?
Her shoes are great. Anyway. She's a good teacher, and she cares about Hachiman and Yukino because she established a club solely for them, just to make them more sociable. And as a teacher myself, I see some outcasts, and they happen in almost every class now and then. And she knows how important it is to voice your opinion, your own opinion, your genuine opinion, and that stuck into your facade won't get you far in terms of happiness and all that stuff. And she's just a good character who helps our characters to realize some important values in life, I would say.
Okay, yeah. I really appreciate the fact that I think Watari actually said that he sees himself as a mix between Sensei, Shizuka, and 8-Man. And he uses her as a way to, like, instill these life lessons into the series, which is great. Because, I mean, I think the main goal when he was writing this was basically to say, okay, loners, you should really stop doing this. You should become better. You're better than this.
Just be yourself.
Just be yourself.
Be yourself, but not like that. Or like that. Just be yourself, but not like that.
Anyways, we're getting a bit, we're probably getting a bit overboard now with how long this is going. I just want to say one thing before we're done. I love Rumi. I think Rumi is a great character. I think she's fantastic.
Okay, so why is she best girl? Like,
Why?
It's because she's young.
Look at my picture. Hold on. Look at my picture. Do you see this hat?
I see like half of the hat.
That's not a hat. That's a beret.
Do you see this fantastic? This is a nice hat, and therefore she is best.
You see my hat? My hat's way cooler.
It's not tiny though. It's got to be a tiny hat.
No, fuck that shit, Bacon. That's disgusting.
Also, Rumi's like banter with 8-Man is actually really good. It's very reminiscent of Yukino, but
she's too young to be talking like that. She's too young to be talking like that.
Think about the potential. She could grow to be better than Yukino. She could have
not exactly
better bands.
Yeah, that's anyone could be better than Yukino, except for Senjigahara.
She could have better bands. She could be the one banter.
But will she have good ZR? It's the ZR that counts. Will she?
She's got good fashion sense. I think she could get good ZR in the future.
I mean, berets aren't exactly good fashion
Yeah,
sense.
that's why I'm a little concerned.
What is this, the fucking 90s? Jesus.
You know what?
Is she a painter? Get out of here.
Is she a painter? Does she consider herself an artiste?
Oh no, I'm sorry. She's with the pink beret. She's a social justice worker with the pink berets, just fighting other men.
She's fighting the good fight.
Yep.
You know what? I just want a post time skip thing where 8-Man now is a teacher at a school where Rumi goes to, and then Rumi like just gets into hijinks with 8-Man. Like,
I think it would be history repeating itself, and she'd be the cynical one, and then she joins the group.
That'd be great.
And then Hachiman would be the one trying to guide them. But then you see just Rumi, she'd be like fighting on the streets, being a social justice worker, giving Pepsi to everyone.
Just stop. That is, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. That thing is horrible. Okay, you know what?
Here, take a Pepsi. Stop.
We're done. We're fucking done this. Okay.
Okay.
No, we're not.
I'm gonna end this by saying
this is only part 1 of the
you
podcast.
wanted this, and now you have it.
Okay. I just want to say that Oregairu is my favorite series. I can respect other people for saying that, it might not be as great as it is, but I think it spoke to me a lot. It did things that I haven't seen in other anime or in other mediums, for that matter.
That I agree with. That's one of the reasons why I like it.
For that. And it's probably not going to change. It's probably not. I don't think any other anime is going to unseat it as the best one for me. So. And I really appreciate what it's done, because I learned a lot from it in terms of viewpoints, in terms of how to act, because I understood the deeper meanings behind it, and not just what I saw on the surface. I didn't just relate with 8-Man and use that to confirm my own worldview. I like the fact that I challenged it and tries to tell you to understand people more, to don't be such an edgelord. And yeah, so I really liked it.
So what you're saying is, don't be an edgelord.
So what you're saying is, get fucking good.
Yes.
Oh baby, what is you doing?
Oh no, baby, what is you
doing?
Baby,
giving Pepsi to everyone.
Oh, we live.
Okay. Any final thoughts, you guys?
The Yukino figure is due for a change. I might get a different figure and just.
You should get an Iroha figure.
Yui figure.
I was thinking,
Yui figure.
You should get a Randy figure.
Oh my god! No. I was thinking Love Live, but okay, we'll see.
Well, are you saying Randy isn't part of Love Live?
Dude, Randy, the best idol ever. He's so edgy.
Thanks, man. Kavrik, any final thoughts?
Not really. I'm kind of upset that we haven't discussed High Mind Haruna, but well.
I know. Maybe in the future.
Well, let's discuss it. We got time.
No, we don't.
Man.
I actually have to go sleep.
This is really long, man.
I have to go sleep. Becker, any final thoughts?
If you like this show, you might like a non-anime show called The Sopranos. Just saying. I think I saw a little bit of Sopranos in this in Oregairu.
Interesting.
So if you were looking for something kind of similar, watch that show.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. No, that's understandable. Okay, great. We talked about Oregairu. People now.
We are literally an hour and 40 minutes in. This is
God,
ridiculous.
breaking record. This is a genuine long podcast.
We are like Westbrook.
We are done. You made that joke one too many times, and now it's over. So
you're one too many times.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
We're done.